you got, Ak?
Here's a question for the audience. What? How do we determine, in our opinion, these different tribes that we're not really familiar with? I mean, like you just said, the Levites for Hades. How do you would Asians fit in as a one of the lost tribes? I mean, how do we know the difference between the 12 tribes and the Gentiles? I don't know if they're Gentiles or if they're part of the tribes because they come from the line of Shem.
Who?
The Asians.
Yes, they do.
Right.
The Asians do come from the line of Shem, but they're not Israelites. So this is how it's done. In Genesis chapter 10, we're just going to take a look at it briefly. Oh, good. Oh, okay. Ask me the question so I can cover it as I'm breaking this
perfect. Someone wants to know what is it all the people from Hades from the tribe of Levi, or is it just most of them? Is it possible for people from the tribe of Levi to be in Jamaica as well?
Yes, so
And,
it is believed that, yeah, it is possible.
and then someone else is saying that they're from Ghana. People say we are a part, and some say we are not.
Right. So here's the issue. It's been thousands of years that Israelites have been scattered around the world. There's been so much intermingling. But if you go back to the biblical rule that you are whatever your father is, okay? So if your father is Asian and you marry a black woman and you have a child, that if the man is Asian, the woman is black, they have a child that comes out that looks, I don't care how black it looks, what is that child? Is an Asian. It's whatever the father is. That's the rule. Nobody is mixed in the scriptures. Nobody. You can't be like, well, I'm half black. What? Which half of you? Yeah, no, you are not. You are whatever your father is. Now, because there's been so much mixing, and when Israel left out of Jerusalem in 70 AD, we went and we lived in Africa for hundreds of years. You know how much mixing that is? Mixing and mixing and mixing. So it is a very good possibility that the indigenous people of Ghana are actually Israelites. But you might talk to somebody from Ghana and they tell you they're actually an African. See? Confusion of faces is what the scripture says has happened to all of Israel. But what's the first thing? Okay, you're asleep and you're in a dream, and stuff is crazy when you're in a dream. You walking through the high school hallways butt naked. I mean, crazy stuff is happening in the dream, right? Okay, but when you start to wake up and your eyes start to open, it's a little bit blurry at first. But the more woke you become, the sharper everything comes into focus. What are you looking at for it to come into focus? Let me show you the scripture. Isaiah chapter 34. Isaiah chapter 16, verse 34. Isaiah chapter 34, verse 16. You saw what happened? That dyslexia kicked in. Isaiah 34, 16. This is how you start the process of figuring out who you are, what tribe you belong to.
Seek ye out of the book of Yahweh and read.
Pause right there. What do I have to do to figure out what tribe I'm in?
Look for yourself.
Can't nobody tell me. It's written here in this book. Talk to the one who created the tribes. He's going to reveal it to you. No, we're not.
34:16.
Yes, Genesis 49. Genesis 49 is where you're going to list out the 12 tribes, and you're going to identify with one of those 12 tribes and the prophecy spoken concerning them in the last days. Okay, read that one again from the top.
Seek ye out of the book of Yahweh and read.
Keep going.
No one of these shall fail.
Okay, now here's the interesting thing. It sounds like it's telling you to read the book. It's telling you to find yourself. Seek means find. Ye means you. Find yourself in the book of Yahweh. And do what? Read. That's how you're going to know what tribe you're from. Keep going.
None shall want her mate.
When it says none of these shall fail, it means none of these prophecies are going to fail. None of these words are going to return void. None of these scriptures shall want her mate. Okay, none of these scriptures is going to be left like an island all by itself. There's going to be a precept to back up every single scripture. Keep going.
For my mouth it hath commanded.
That's the Father. His mouth commanded it. Go ahead.
and his spirit it hath gathered.
And his spirit, that's Yahweh Shai's spirit. So the Father is speaking in first person. The Father says, seek ye out of the book of Yahweh and read. No one of these shall fail, none shall want her mate. For my, the Father's, mouth hath spoken it, and his, Yahweh Shai's spirit, it hath gathered them. You see, both of them are in that verse, right? Give me verse 17.
And he hath cast the lot for them.
And he, Yahweh Shai, hath cast the lot for them. For what? The scriptures. He died so that you could have these scriptures. Keep going.
And his hand hath divided it unto them by line.
And the hand of Yahweh Shai divided every single line, every single number, every single punctuation by line. Why line? Because it has to be precept upon precept, line upon line, here a little and there a little. Who made it that way?
Yeah.
Yahweh Shai did it. And this is the reason why. Go ahead.
They shall possess it forever.
We're going to possess this book. Remember, what are we talking about in verse 16? The book of Yah. We shall possess it forever. Go ahead.
From generation to generation shall they dwell therein.
Where do I live at?
In this book.
I live in this book. If I ever need to figure out who I am or where I am, I open up this book. It's going to tell me what time it is. It's going to tell me who I am and who I belong to. So, to answer some of these other questions regarding, let me show you the hierarchy once again. This part is important because it's easy to forget. It is possible for you to be a Hebrew. That's the highest level. You can be a Hebrew and not be an Israelite. You mentioned the Asians, right? They are Hebrews. They're from Shem, but they are not Israelites. Top level is Hebrew. Okay, an Ishmaelite, he's a descendant of Abraham. That makes him a Hebrew, but he is not an Israelite. Does that make sense? Is the promise to the Hebrews? The promise is to the Israelites. So Hebrews top level, and then Isaac gives birth to Jacob and Esau. Esau is also a Hebrew, but he's not an Israelite. Okay? Jacob's name was changed to Israel, and his 12 sons are the Israelites. So first top level is Hebrew. Then I'm an Israelite. And then out of those 12 tribes, only 3 of them are called Jews. Judah, Benjamin, and Levi. That's because they lived in the land of Judea. That's the only reason why they're called Jews. Does that make sense? Okay. If you want to know what tribe you're from, you're going to have to do a lot of research, seeking out of the book of Yahweh and reading. There is a chart that has been floating around since Israel began to wake up. We do not use that chart in our church. The chart is an interpretation. I used it for many years, and there are some things that are very accurate in it. There are some things that I cannot prove according to that chart. So I don't want to be like, oh, why are you using that chart and you can't prove all of this? I'd rather just not use it and tell you to seek out of the book of the Lord instead of seek onto the Israelite chart. What else we got?
Change subject?
It depends on the questions that, yeah. I'm
Oh,
ready
okay.
to go. The Somalians? Where it?
Oh, I didn't see that.
Okay, so,
Just-
man, I'm glad you brought that up. Okay. First, where is Somalia located at? It's located in Africa. Just because somebody is born in a place does not mean that that is your genealogy. What is the top level? Genealogy. What is the second level? Nationality. Does that make sense? How do I determine my genealogy? I am whatever my father is. The Bible tells you all of Israel is reckoned by genealogy. If you were not able to prove that you were from the tribe of Levi, they would refuse to let you in work in the temple. Okay? How was my nationality determined? By location where I'm born. Okay, so I want you to imagine that I am 100% German. I speak German. I was born in Germany. And I meet a woman who's also German. So both of us are straight up German. But we go to Japan, and our child is born in Japan. What is his genealogy? He's German. What is his nationality? Japanese. See, so it's very difficult to tell if the people who live in Somalia are actually Israelites because that's just where you live.
What are what are Hawaiians and Samoans and brothers and sisters from islands? What do they
South
say?
Pacific
Yes,
Islanders?
sir.
I don't know because it is an interpretation.
Okay, sir.
So I know some Israelites who believe that they are Japhetites, and they're not Japhetites because that would make them Gentiles. I know some Israelites who believe that they are Israelites from tribe of Reuben, tribe of Simeon. I don't know. I just know. Let's hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear Yah and keep his commandments, for this is the whole duty of a man. He gonna sort out every other thing. Literally, it says that in the next verse. He's gonna bring every work into judgment and every secret thing. So I might have thought this whole time I was from the tribe of Judah. And he's like, no, you're really from this other tribe. And I'm not going to argue with him. He knows better than I do. That's me. I'm Benjamin. Okay, good. Whatever. Right? Yeah. Okay, go.
All right, so new subject. It says, what is a good chapter